I'm just gonna, is this better?
All right. Hi, my name is Rachel Sloneker, and I'm a senior at Pitt Greensburg, and I'm also a member of Voice of Westmoreland, which is the organization that put all of this on for us today. They are a local, nonpartisan community group devoted to the issues that matter most to our community and to ensuring that everyone in this community has their voices heard. They do a lot for the community, and they've done a lot for us today. So let's give a shout out to them real quick, to Voice of Westmoreland. Also, if anyone is interested in what Voice of Westmoreland does or has any questions, after the rally you can find anyone wearing a purple Val shirt, and we will answer them for you. Also, I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone out here today. This is a controversial issue, and it is a scary issue, but it is, oh, it's getting louder. Sorry. Okay, it's a controversial issue, and it is a scary issue, but it is also a very important one. And it means a lot to see so many active people out here today, coming out here to fight in our fight for a safe and healthy future. Though I have to say, as pleased as I am to see so many faces out here today, it is a shame that we have to meet like this. It is a shame that our representatives are not willing to act in our best interest without us demanding that they do so. But they are also under the impression that they can afford to ignore us. Some people seem to have this idea that climate change is more of winter becoming shorter or sea levels rising to make our beaches smaller, as if they're safe as long as they live inland. And some people don't even believe it is an issue at all. But we are here today because we know otherwise. We know that if the climate crisis is not met with intervention now, we will be facing drastic and irreversible consequences. We all know the environmental effects we are facing. Rising sea levels, the loss of our coral reefs, an increase in wildfires and natural disasters. We know these effects because we are already beginning to experience them. And it goes beyond environmental factors too. To put it in terms our politicians might understand a little better. The recent climate reports predict a loss of more than $500 billion of economic output annually. They are predicting a risk of damage to $1 trillion worth of public infrastructure and coastal real estate in the U.S. And globally, more than 350 million people will be exposed to deadly heat stress by the year 2050. That is more than the entirety of the U.S. population, and it is only 30 years away. One would hope that these facts would be enough to scare anyone, everyone, into action, and yet here we are gathered today begging our government to protect its own people. As more studies are released, I found one notion particularly alarming. A report recently submitted to the United Nations Human Rights Panel indicated that while the poor and working class Americans will take the brunt of the effects, many wealthy Americans may actually be able to pay their way out of the worst effects of climate change. Avoiding things like overheating, hunger, and economic collapse, leaving people like you and I, the working class, the backbone of this nation, to suffer through the consequences of a mess we are begging them not to lead us into in the first place. Is that really who we want representing us? No! People who are comfortable taking actions with the knowledge that they will not be the ones dealing with the consequences of them. This is why it is so important now more than ever to stand up to our government and demand that the changes we need to see.
Run for office.
I plan to in a couple years. I am a firm believer that change starts with the individual, and it does, it truly does. This movement, the strike everyone standing here today, all started with one person. One amazing 16-year-old girl who was determined to fight for her future. And if one girl can inspire all of this, imagine what we are capable of when we stand united. Because change may start with an individual, but it lives and breathes among the masses. Together, we can demand action. We can demand change. We can demand a greener, healthier, safer future for ourselves and for generations to come. And I know the Green New Deal may not be perfect, but if we wait around for the perfect resolution, then we will never come to address this climate crisis we are facing. There is no such thing as a perfect resolution. But we need to adopt the Green New Deal so that we know our government will be committed to passing legislations that will help our future instead of rolling back on environmental legislations or defunding the EPA. We cannot afford these regressive environmental policies. We need progress, and we need it now. And progress starts by electing representatives who are actually willing to represent us. Now, I don't think I need to tell anyone here to go out and vote. I'm sure you are all aware. But go out and tell your friends to vote. Tell your coworkers to vote. Tell your family to vote. Tell anyone who will listen to go out and vote. And don't just tell them to vote or who to vote for. Tell them why it is important to take action and make an informed decision. Make them afraid of what will happen if they don't. Because they should be afraid. We should all be afraid. We are quickly approaching the point of no return in this climate crisis. But we have the power to stop this. It is only a matter of whether or not we are willing to use that power, willing to use our voices to tell policymakers that this will go no further. One person cannot save the planet alone. One nation cannot save the planet alone. We need to change the policy. We need to set an example that others are inspired to follow, because it will take all of us together to save our future. And up next we have Brianna Franzino. Sorry.